Hello and welcome to 2XKO, a 2 vs 2 tag fighter based on champions of the popular MOBA League of Legends. This is what we call a 6-bun fighter, so basically meaning there are 6 buns primarily, but there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of different options and mechanics in this game. But we are here in this basics guide to go over everything, all the different mechanics, options, as well as talk about give a brief description of some of the champions and fuses to hopefully make the transition into 2XKO a little easier. You don't need to worry about all this all at once. Get used to each of the mechanics as things go to help transition a little easier rather than overwhelming yourself. There's no better way to start than, of course, with the 6 buns, starting with the normals. So every character's got a light bun, every character's got a medium bun, and every character has a heavy bun. There are crouching buns, light, medium, and heavy. Crouching heavy is going to be your go-to anti-air, having air invulnerability. And then every character, of course, also has jumping attacks. So jump light, jump medium, and jumping heavy. With every character as well having a jumping down heavy, which is going to be your usual go-to move that will hit backwards. That's it pretty much for the normals though. But specials, this game does not have any form of technical inputs. There is purely simple inputs. You have your S1s and your S2. You also have directional versions of your S1s and S2s. So if you're down S1, then you also have your down S2. You can go to the home menu and check out the move list, where underneath specials, it'll show you every different option that you have. This is a assist-based tag fighter, and every champion has 3 assists. You have your back assist, you have your neutral assist, and you have what's called a last stand assist. Last stand assist happens when you have one champion still alive, and you can input that one by pressing down plus the assist. It can be potentially attached to one of your moves, one of your supers, or it can have nothing to do with it. Again, it depends on the champion, but one thing that is consistent though is that it costs 1 bar of your team's meter. When you use your assist, they will stay on screen for a little while, then they'll go on to cooldown. Now, what you can do though, when you call an assist, is you can do something that is called an active tag. When the assist is out, by pressing the assist button again, or the tag button, you will then swap to that other champion. There are 2 different ways you can swap out. Well, 3, actually 3. So one way is by just holding the tag button. You'll be minus 31, but you can just hard swap into your teammates. The other way to do it is by calling an assist and then pressing it again to tag into said teammates. Besides those things, you can do one other thing with assists, and that is called a tag launcher. A tag launcher is done by pressing down plus tag, and when hit, they will get knocked into the air, and you will tag into your other champion. And you typically will use this as either as a way to get, if you have got a low HP character and you want to get them out, or if you want a late extension, or in the situation of if one champion does not have meter and you're getting close to a kill, but you can't super with the champion you're currently using. By using the tag launcher, you're able to then set up for a situation where you can get the super and potentially get a kill. Speaking of which, these supers. So every champion has at least 3 supers. So by pressing S1 plus either light, medium, or heavy, you will get one level 1. By pressing S2 plus either light, medium, or heavy, you will get your S2 super. And if you have 3 bars and you press S1 plus S2 at the same time, you will get your level 3. Some supers OTG, some do more damage than others. It varies greatly on the champion. Now let's get to the part where it's so many mechanics. We'll start off with a dashing. So you can repeatedly dash. So you can wave dash in this game. Varies greatly, and there are 2 different ways to do it. One, by just straight up equipping a dash button, which I will always recommend doing. And the other is by pressing light and medium at the same time. It works basically the exact same way as if you have a dash button. So whichever you are more comfortable with, but I will always recommend a dash button. Next is what happens when you press medium and heavy at the same time. That is the input for this game's throw. You can do a forward throw, either by holding forward or by just throwing. You can do a back throw, which you hold back and press throw. Or if the opponent is in the air, you can air throw them. A back throw is not a hard knockdown, and they can get up and roll immediately. And an air throw is basically the same thing as a grounded forward throw, whether you throw them forward. It counts as a hard knockdown, but the difference is on an air throw, you typically have a lot more plus frames, allowing you to then go for more follow-ups than you normally would otherwise. Some champions like Ari get absolutely nothing. Some champions like Akali can get a super follow-up. Then there are other champions like Teemo, for example, who off of a throw can get just straight up a full combo. And then next is parry. Light plus heavy at the same time equals parry. So parry costs one bar of resource. So if you have, it is a very good tool to have. So in this game, you will take chip damage from all specials. You take chip damage from blocking specials. If you parry something, you do not take any chip damage. You will then be given back the 1 bar you spent on the parry. But the stronger thing about it is what happens when you parry a physical hit. They will get flung backwards, and you can get a full combo punish on them. It's unfortunately not quite as simple as that, because there are 2 different kinds of parries in this game. There's high parry, but there's also low parry. As I'm sure you can guess, low parry counters low hits. So if you go for a standing parry and they go for a low, you will lose the bar and you will be punished. And if you go for a low parry and they go for a high or a mid, then you will lose the bar and you will be punished. The last combo button is the break meter. So if you look below the HP gauge, you'll see in giant letters, break. And the way you do break is by pressing your tag button at the same time as you press a special. It doesn't matter which, but as long as you press one of them. Burst, combo breaker. It's had many names over the years, but basically, while you are being hit, your teammates will magically appear. You will then fling them back off of you if the break is blocked. You basically get your break countered, and what happens there is the assist that you basically called to get them off of you will tag in for you. And they'll be able to get a full combo from you in a similar way as what happens when they're parried. The burst can be baited and you can be punished accordingly. Now what changes though is what happens when you're either playing as a solo champion or when one of your team members is dead. Break will get replaced by Fury. So Fury is this game's X Factor, sparking. So what Fury does is you will do more damage, you will take less damage, and you gain access to dash cancels. And what dash canceling is when you use either a normal, you can double tap forward to dash, or a dash button, and you can cancel into it, allowing you to extend combos or potentially try to bait out their burst. Or if you use a special, be it S1 or S2, you're able to dash cancel that too. But every time you dash cancel, it costs a decent chunk of your Fury bar. Defensive options. What can we do on defense? Your opponent got in on you and you're blocking. What can you do? You can just sit there and try to block it. Brother, right? We have a retreating guard and we have a push block. Basically, a retreating guard is basically a backdash while blocking. You see the little blue flash that shows them dashing away. That is retreating guard, and you can use it as many times as you want. It costs you absolutely nothing. There is no requirements to it. But there is a counter to it though. It does not work on lows. If they go for a low into another low, then the retreating guard will basically get broken and they'll be able to get a full punish on you for it. And then the other option is by pressing back plus tag. Only when you have your assist available, you will get a push block. Your assist will come on screen and then shove you back. It works in a similar way as if you called an assist and the opponent is ready for it. They'll either be able to do a follow-up button that can reach, or they will run forward, then start beating up on your assist. Again, really good tool, but also primarily going to be used in specific situations. Which now leaves us to, they hit me. What can I do about it? So on wake up, you have a few options. You can, when there's not a hard knockdown, you can just get up. It comes at no risk to you. You can get up and block. I know people don't like to do that, but again, it's still an option. You can do one of two things. You can either roll or a forward roll. The goal there is to try and create distance. The counterplay to this though is that it can be thrown. The other wake up option is called a get up attack. So a get attack can be done on wake up by holding either S1 or S2. It doesn't matter which, as long as you're holding one and you don't roll, you'll get a get up attack. It's good to be able to show off that you're willing to do it because people love to press buttons. If your opponent is expecting it and they block it, you are minus 25 and you are probably going to die. Which then leads us to general combo structure and what the heck is a limit strike. You can basically only get one ground bounce or wall bounce per character in a combo. And if you go for a second one, you'll get what is called a limit strike. And what a limit strike is it gives you meter as well as it gives you break. So there are multiple ways to build break. One of which is passively. If we just sit here for who knows how long, break meter is going to keep filling up over time. And another way is you get hit. The more you get hit, the more you build break. And if you get a limit strike, you will build a small amount of meter for yourself as well as a small amount of break meter for yourself. If your champion is able to, a lot of people will try to end their combos with limit strike. So the way the combo structure works in this game is that you eventually reach what is called break limit. So and that will happen after 6 seconds in a combo. You'll see the bar, you'll get break bonus. And what break bonus is that the longer the combo goes, starting from 6 seconds, and then I'm pretty sure 9 seconds, then 12 seconds, then 15 seconds, the amount of break meter that you give the opponent or the opponent gives you will increase the longer the combo goes. So if you extend the combo a very long time, the amount of bar you will give somebody will increase dramatically compared to just those first couple of hits. So that's why there's a reason to keep combos shorter sometimes. There's a bit in give and take, which helps balance at least a little bit to make things a bit more fair in that sense. Now speaking of champions though, every champion also has a archetype attached to them, as well as a general sense from at least Riot's perspective on what they can do in terms of their range, their power, how hard they hit, how much HP they have. Ahri is labeled as a rushdown with high mobility. If you're like me who likes high mobility and likes champions who are very versatile in what they can do, playing both rushdown and keep away, she's definitely the go-to for you. Now if you want speed and more speed, then there is no one better than Akali. She is straight up the fastest champion in the game. So if you just straight up want pure speed, she is definitely the one for you. Now if you want grapplers, there are not many or really any grapplers in this game outside of Blitzcrank. Hits like a truck. Do you remember what I mentioned about being able to get grabbed when you roll? Yeah, now Braum. For those of you guys who have played League of Legends, you know that Braum has a shield. So if you want a big slow character that hits like an absolute truck and will piss the heck out of people, you are going to enjoy playing as the heart of the Freljord. Caitlyn, you want a zoner? have a zoner. You're a FPS player and you want to try out if you're able to do flicks in fighting games. She is for you because she has flicks. Now, if you want the easiest champion in the game and someone who will just kill you in 5 hits, that'll be Darius. So if you don't have a lot of time or just want to pick up someone really easy, he's got a really good assist, really good range, and hits like an absolute truck. Warwick. He is a werewolf. All right, Vi. No, I'm joking. A very rushdown heavy champion, as I'm sure you would expect from a werewolf. Very long range on his normals. And probably the most interesting thing for him, though, is he has basically Akuma's demon flip. So if you like the idea of having a demon flip, but on a champion that has no projectiles whatsoever, then he is the one for you. So Vi, if I remember correctly, her quote in League is punch first, ask questions while punching. Yep, that pretty much sums up Vi pretty well. All of her stats are really high, except for range, and that is because she is basically just going to punch you and punch you some more. Teemo! This rat bastard. He is a trap zoner, but he's able to shoot a slingshot, which is very annoying. Set up mushroom traps, set a bush onto the ground that he can teleport to, as well as set it on fire. No, I am not kidding. So if you like the idea of being very tricky, setting up a bunch of traps and annoying the crap out of people, he is numero uno on that list. Jinx, another zoner. Basically, the 3 zoners of this game in Caitlyn, Teemo, and Jinx. Jinx fires all of the guns. She has a rocket launcher. She has the Gatling gun. She's got the zap gun, and she's got normals using that giant hammer. She's also kind of a mix of Caitlyn and Teemo in a way. Alawi, do you want set play? She is your character. Alawi is a big old bruiser set play champion where her specials can summon tentacles beneath the opponent when they're either hit by them or when they block them. Or the tentacles will then do follow-up attacks. Echo, in most people's opinions, the coolest champion in the entire game due to Rewind, where he will have a clone set up right behind him that you can teleport back to do multiple follow-ups, or if you charge the clone before letting go, you can then teleport back to it as if he just rewound back in time where nothing else happened. And then lastly is Yasuo. He's labeled as an all-rounder where everything is 3. I don't personally agree with that. He is a stance character, and he is rewarded the more comfortable you are using that stance. You're able to dash from the stance, swing in different ways, OTGs, anti-air. You can set up wind walls in order to be able to ignore entirely, or in the case of Jinx's traps, send them backwards a couple times, and is probably the ultimate left-to-right champion because of how easily he can sandwich people, because his dash from stance allows him to dash straight up through opponents. So yeah, so if you want a champion that basically can do everything, then Yasuo is definitely one for you, as long as you are ready and willing to learn exactly how to best utilize his stance. Then the last thing we're going to talk about, the fuses. So Double Down. Double Down is going to be pretty easy to pick up. If you don't really want to worry too much about it, just use Double Down. What Double Down is when you do your combo, when you go into a super, you're able to then go into your teammate's super as well. And then the one other thing with it is if you have assist available and you call that first before supering, you can tag into that other champion. Now 2x assist, take a guess. 2x assist is exactly what it sounds like. You can call an assist twice, so you're still able to tag the same way you normally would, but you're able to then call an assist twice where you normally could only do it once. The one caveat to this though is that when you call an assist, it's only a 2-second cooldown once they leave the screen, but when you use 2x assist and they leave the screen, it's now 4 seconds. Next up is Freestyle, also known as the mix fuse. Freestyle is you can tag and you can tag again. Tag, light medium, tag. Much like with 2x is that it adds time But unlike 2x, it is 6 seconds compared to 2x is 4 seconds. Then the latest and newest fuse, before we get to the solo ones, is team fight. So team fight, by pressing tag plus light, medium, or heavy, you will spend 1 bar of each champion. So you must have 1 bar of each, and you'll basically call out both champions at the same time. And you're basically able to control them at the exact same time. And while only controlling one, by holding the tag button, you can move your other champion. You're able to basically halt or pause your assist champion and then move as whatever champion is up front. But that's just when you play it as a solo though. When you play it as a duo, you will play as one champion, your teammate plays as another champion, and you will be able to both control your champions individually. So your teammate can go forward, you can play backwards. You can both go forward, you can press a button, your teammate can jump up. It is really powerful, and is probably going to be the go-to fuse for just about anybody playing duos. I'll say for the foreseeable future. Some people don't want to play as a duo, or some people don't like the options of I don't want to learn 2 champions. So Juggernaut gives you 5 meters max instead of the normal 3. You'll always have Fury. Push block, rather than costing your assist, will cost Fury meter instead. As long as you have Fury meter, you can spend it for push block. Kind of absurd if we're being honest here. And then the other thing Juggernaut does is it A, gives you more HP, B, gives you more damage, and then the one other unique mechanic on top of getting push block attached to break is, since you don't have an assist or a teammate to tag launch into, instead you're able to snap them out and swap them. So for 1 bar, you are basically able to snap loop them. And then the last fuse is Sidekick, kind of the in-between fuse for people who want to either learn how to play a tag fighter or assist fighter, but don't want to learn 2 champions just yet. Sidekick basically works like Juggernaut in a way, but you get to still have an assist. So you miss out on the snapback loop, of course. But you're able to still call assists. And since the character is technically considered dead, you do also still get a last stand assist for the cost of 1 bar. And although you don't get the option to super into yourself, you do, however, get the option to super into your teammates. So Sidekick is basically a really good in-between fuse. Any of them. If you're just trying to focus on 1 right now, but you do eventually want to learn how to play 2, then Sidekick is going to be the best in-between point, because you get used to calling assists, while at the same time being able to put all your focus in on 1 champion at a time. It's a lot. Like I said, look, there is way too many things in this game. It is easy to pick up, because you can just come into the game, pick whatever 2 champions you think looks cool, press all the buttons. But there are a lot of nuances and a lot of mechanics on top of these things that I hope you guys end up having some fun, because personally, I love this game. I have so much fun playing this game. Stay tuned, because for those of you guys who want to get more into training mode, because there's a lot of options in training mode too, we'll be doing a training mode guide as well. So until next time, hope you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.